Prabhu Rupa Sanatan, Prabhu Rupa Sanatan, Rupa Sanatan, Prabhu Rupa Sanatan. Page 62. Ananda Kanda Nitai Chandan Aruna Nayana Karuna Chanda Ananda Kanda Nitai Chanda Aruna Nayana Karuna Chanda Karuna Pura Sagane Jora Karuna Pura Sagane Jora Hari Hari Dwani Bola Re Hari 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 Dwani Bola Re Natakaranga Vakata Sangha Natakar Vivida Pasha Rasataranga Natakar Ishatahasa Madhura Pasha Chita Sagane Gima Dolare Sagane Sagane Gima Dolare Patita Kora Japata Gora Dina Rajani Ananda Bora Prema Ratana Korea Jatana Prema Ratana Korea Jatana Jagajane Korudana Re Jagajane Korudana Re Kirtana Maja Rasika Raja Jachana Kanaya Giriviraja Braja Vihara Rasa Vitara Brara Vihara Rasa Vitara Madhura Madhura Gana Re Madhura Madhura Gana Re Duli Dusara Dharani Upara Kabahulu Tata Preme Gara Gara Kabahulu Tata Preme Gara Gara Preme Kabahu Chalata Kabahu Kelata Kabahu Chalata Kabahu Kelata Kabahu Ata Sare Kabahu Ata Sare Kabahu Sweda Kabahu Keda Kabahu Pulaka Swara Vibeda Kabahu Lampa Kabahu Champa Kabahu Lampa Kabahu Champa Kabahu Diga Swasare Kabahu Diga Swasare Karanu Sindhu Akila Bandhu Karuna Sindhu Karuna Sindhu Akila Bandhu Akila Bandhu Kali Yuga Tama Purana Hindu Jagata Lochana Patala Mochana Jagata Lochana Patala Mochana Nitai Puralo Ashare Nitai Puralo Nitai Puralo Ashare Andaya Dhamma Dina Durajana Preme Dane Kara Karalo Mochana Prem Dane karalamo. Paula jagata kevala vanchita. Paola jagata kevala vanchita. He Radha Vallabha Dasya Re Radha Vallabha He Radha Vallabha Dasya Re Ananda Kanda Nitai Chanda Aruna Nayana Karuna Chanda Ananda Kanda Nitai Chanda Karuna Nayana Karuna Chanda Jayanitai 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 Jaya Nityananda Rai, Jaya Nityananda Rai, Nityananda Rai, Jaya Nityananda Rai. Sai Gaura Haribo, 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 Gaura Haribo. Patit Pavan Nityananda Rama Ki Jai.
Page 76. Oh hey Premera Thakura Gaura. Oh hey Premera Thakura Gaura. Oh hey Premera Thakura Gaura. Page 76. Kurangora. Pranera jatana kikabonat hoichi apanahara. Pranera jatan kikabonat O he premera thakura gora. O he premera thakura gora. Premera thakura. O he premera thakura gora. Kiara bolibo je kajare tare. Ene chile na jagate amare. Bolibo je kajare tare. Ene chile na. Eto dina pare kohite se kata. Kede dhuke hoy sara. O he premera thakura gora. O he premera thakura gora. Premera gora. O he tomar bhajane na janmilo rati. Jada mohe mata sadha duramati. O vishaire kache theke theke ami. Oinu vishai para. Ke ame ke noje se che kane. Se kata khakana nahi babe mane. Ke ame ke noje se chie kane. Nahi babe mane. O kakana bhogen, kakana tyagen. Shalanaya mana nache. O he premera thakura gora. O he premera thakura gora. Premera thakura gora. Ki gati hoibe kakana bhavina. Hari baka tera kachayo jaina. Hari vimukhera kulakshana jata. Amate sabayache. Shri Guru Kripaya benjeche shvapan. Bujechi ekhan tumi apan. Shri Guru Kripa. Otavani jajan paramabhanda O sangsara kara ghare O he premera thakura gora O he premera thakura gora premera Anana vajiva bhakta pada binu Ratula charane sharana loinu Udara honata maya jala hoite E dasere keshe dhare Patakire tumi kripa karo naki Jaghai madhai chilo je pataki Kahe te jene che premera thakura Patakiri otar tumi Oh he premera thakura
हरिओम।
Badit Pavana Paramadayal Prema Datat Padmavati Kumar Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Prema Purushottama Sachinandan Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Shitanath Premanande. Kandita Kali Yuga Janamalam Samala Kandita Kali Yuga Janamalam Samala Sorapakarshita Nija Channa Madhupa Sorapakarshita Nija Channa Madhupa Sorapakarshita Nija Channa Madhupa Talita Janna Madhupa Karuna Kandita Vira Havitapa Karuna Kandita Vira Havitapa Pande Vishvam Parakamala Pande Vishvam Parakamala Nashitarid Gata Mahayachimira Nashitarid Gata Mahayachimira Nashitarid Gata Mahayachimira Bharani Jakanta Jagatam Chiram Kanta Jagatam Chiram Bharani Jakanta Jagatam Chiram Pande Vishvambara Parakavala Satutta virajita nirupam shopam. Satutta virajita nirupam shopam. Radha Mohana Kaita Bilopa. Oh Radha Mohana Kalita Bilopa. Pandehi Vishwam Para Para Kamala. Pande Vishwam Para Para Kamala. Oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Pande Vishwambara Para Kamala. Para Para Kamala. Pande Vishwambara Para Kamala. Jaya Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hari. Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hari. Jaya Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hari. Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hari. Gaura hey, Gaura hey, Gaura hey, Gaura hey. Nitai Gaura Hari. one more bhajan. Yes? Anupama Madhuri Churi. What page is that?
364.
Okay, so in the chorus, just and then double time in the you play. So by the mercy of Sri Vishwambara Mishra, by the mercy of Sri Gaurhari, now we remember the lotus feet of Sri Jugal Kishore, Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. Bole Vrindavan Lal ki jai, Varsani wali ki jai, Jai Jai Sri Radhe. Manupam Madhuri Johri Hamare Shama Shama Ki Anupam Madhuri Johri Hamare Shama Shama Ki Anupam Madhuri Johri Hamare Shama Shama Ki Anupama Madhuri. Rasili Rasubhari Ankiya Hamare Shama Shama Ki Rasili Anupama Madhuri Chori Hamare Shama Shama Ki Chori Hamare Shama Shama Chapili He Adabandi Sugar Suragama Turupatiya Sukha Sudhakama Tirupati Chapili He Adapangi Sukha Sudhakama Tirupatiya Sukha Sudhakama Latak Gardana Ki Man Basiya Hamari Shama Shama Latak Gardana Ki Man Basiya Hamare Shama Shama Ki Anupama Madhuri Johri Hamare Shama Shama Ki Mukut aur Chandrika Mate Adar Par Ki Lahali Chandrika Mate Mukut aur Chandrika Mate Adar Par Ki Lahali Mate Aho kaisi pali chabe hamare shama shama ki aho kaisi pali chabe hamare श्री वृंदावन की कुंज में परस्पर की जपति हरे श्री वृंदावन की कुंज में नहीं पारन तब तनी शोभा हमारे श्याम श्याम की नहीं पारन तब तनी शोभा हमारे श्याम श्याम की अनुपम माधुरी जोड़ी हमारे श्याम श्याम की अनुपम माधुरी जोड़ी नहीं कुछ लालसा तन की नहीं निर्वाण की इच्छा लालसा तन की नहीं कुछ लालसा तन की नहीं निर्वाण की इच्छा सखी श्याम को दे दर्शन दया हो श्याम श्याम की दया हो श्याम श्याम की अनुपम माधुरी जोड़ी हमारे श्याम श्याम की हमारे श्याम श्याम की अनुपम माधुरी जोड़ी हमारे श्याम श्याम की हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Anupama Madhuri Jodi Hamare Shama Shama Ki. Anupama Madhuri Jodi Hamare Shama Shama Ki. Hey Vrindavan Mela Ki Jai, Hey Sariwal Ki Jai, Jai Jai Sri Radhe. Jai Gauri Sitanath Premanande. This morning, we want to glorify our most dear Prema Purushottama Satinandan Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And remember how, by his own example, he's teaching us the path of pure bhakti. Nama Shrestam Manamapi Aishochi Putram Atra Surupam Rupam Tasakacha Muri Purim Maturim Goshtuatim Radha Kundam Girivaram Aho Radhika Madhavasam Prabhu Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Guru Tam Natosmi Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namah Ananda Leelamaya Vigrahaya He Mabhadibhyaschavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Bhaktya Bihina Aparada Lakshe Chiltasta Kamaditaram Kamaji Kripa Mahitvam Shanam Prapana Brinde Namaste Charanara Vendam Brinde Namaste Charanara Vendam Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Everyone. Hey Krishna, Hey Yadava, Hey Sakhe Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Shama Sundar Shikhanda Shikhar Smaraha smurali manora Radhikarasakum mama kripa nidhe Swapriya charna king kurim kuru Tabaivasmi Nachivami tvaya bina Iti vikyaya devi tam Namaham charanantikam. First of all, I offer my sastang dandavat puspanjali, my heart like flowers thousands of times at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudev, Asmadiya Paramaradatam Guru Pada Padma, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Ashtotara Satasri Rupanuga Charivarya Sila Bhakti Vedant Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev, to Srila Prabhupada and to all of our Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara. And finally, I offer my pranam to Srimati Shamarani Didi Maharaj and all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, Vancha Kalpatarusa, Kripa Sindhu Bhavata Purim Pavani Vaishnavi Pyo.
Prabhuji's beautiful wife. He said she is 90% of him.
Perhaps you know that before our most dear Sri Satyanandan Gaurhari descended to this world, Sri Krishna decided Yuga Dharma Pravataimu Nama Sankirtan Charibhava Bhakti Diya Nachamu Bhuvan. I will appear in this world and I will spread the Yuga Dharma and I will make the whole world dance, realizing four bhavs of Braja, Dasa Sakya Vatsalya and Madhurya. And especially Apani Karimu Bhakta Bhava Yangi Kare Apani Achari Bhakti Shikamu Sabare. I will appear in this world in the Bhakta Bhav, the mood of a devotee. And I will show everyone how to practice pure bhakti by my own example. So sometimes a person may read scripture and become confused about what to do. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by his life, has unmistakably illustrated exactly what to do. First of all, he gave up all his pride in being a great scholar, Nimai the Pandit. And he took shelter of Sri Guru, Srila Ishvara Puripad. He remembered his Diksha mantras with the greatest honor and became avesh, absorbed in chanting japa of the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. And chanting without offense. Taramadhyai Sarva Shasta Nama Sankirtan. Out of all the practices of bhakti, Nam Sankirtan is best. Niraparad Nam Laile Pai Premadhan. If a person will chant without offense, then they will attain love for Krishna and the darshan of Shri Krishna. So Nimai, from being Nimai Pandit, he became Bhavo Kurasik Nimai, pure devotee. He realized love for Sri Krishna. But still, even that was not enough for him to fulfill his three desires. the main reason why he appeared in this world. To realize how deep, how glorious is the love of Srimati Radhika. And what sweetness in Sri Krishna that is only seen by Radhika by the power of her love. And what happiness Radhika experiences when she relishes that sweetness of Krishna by the power of her love. In this way, the three desires are connected with each other. Still, though he received Diksha, though he was chanting purely, even he took sannyas, even he was trinadapi sunichena, more humble than a blade of grass, and even he had lobh, greed. But still he could not fulfill his three desires without taking shelter of Braj Rasik Vaishnava, like Ramananda Rai. And then he invited Ramananda Rai and so many other great personalities, Paramananda Puri, and others also came from Navadvip, such as Swarup Damodar Goswami. And in Jagannath Puri, in the association of very high-class Vaishnavas, he was relishing Harikatha. So there should not be any confusion about the path. One should take shelter of Guru, receive Harinam, receive Diksha, and stay in the association of Rasik Vaishnavas, always relishing Harikatha. This is the path Mahaprabhu has shown by his own example. Chaitanya Krishna Leela Amrita Sa, Krishna Leela Amrita Sa, Thara Shata Shata Dham, Dashadi ke bohe ja hoite hai, Shri Chaitanya Leela hoy, Sarobara Akshay, Manohansa Charahatahate. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad, he has said that Krishna Leela is Amritasar. It is the essence of all nectar. And it is flowing in hundreds and hundreds of streams in all 10 directions. North, south, east, west, and the corners, and also up and down. Everywhere, the streams of nectar of Krishna Leela are flowing. But where are they flowing from? Where are they flowing from? These streams are flowing from an inexhaustible reservoir of nectar. And that inexhaustible reservoir is Gaura Leela, Chaitanya Leela. Manohangsa Charahatahate. So let my heart, let my mind simply become a swan gliding upon the surface of that reservoir of Gaura Leela. And from there what will happen? Gaura Prema Rasanave, Say Toranga Jebadube, Say Radha Madhav Antaranga. Those who sink in the ocean of love for Gauranga Mahaprabhu, then automatically they become the Antaranga Parikar, internal, intimate associates of Radha Madhav. As our Gurudev always used to say, if in Navadvip you come from the Yogapit and you go a little bit north west, you come to Buruidanga, and there is where Nimai used to teach at school. And if from there you go along the Ganga further and further, you come to a place called Nidai Ghat. That is the place where Sachinandan Gohari, he jumped into the Ganga to swim across and go to Katwa, to leave Navadvip. And he plunged Sachimata, Vishnu Priya, Advaita Acharya, Srivas Thakur, and all the residents of Navadvip in the ocean of separation. So if you will go to Nidai Ghat and take bath there, sink under the water of Ganga there. That means be immersed in the mood of separation from Gauranga. Grihe babone te take, ha Gauranga boli take, Narottama mage tarasanga. Sri Narottam Das Thakur is saying, I am begging for the association of anyone. Whether they live in the forest, they're sannyas or grihastha, I don't care. I'm begging for anyone who is crying, Ha Gauranga. Oh Gauranga, where are you? So if someone will feel separation from Mahaprabhu and sink into that, Gurudev said those who go under the water at Nidai Ghat, when they come out, they find they're in Keshi Ghat in Vrindavan. So Gaura Lila is our back door to Krishna Lila. Radha and Krishna is very difficult to attain. Yadyapi samudishu vidyarapi pashati natava nakaraga marikchim. Lord Brahma, in his samadhi, it's very hard for him to even see some light emanating from the tips of the toenails of Krishna. Then what will we do? How realistic is it really? Not realistic that we can attain Radha and Krishna. But if we take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if we take shelter of Gaura Lila, by his mercy we can attain. Patra vicharanam na kurutena swam param vikshate. Deya vimashakopi nahiva kala patiksha Prabhu. Sadyo ya sravanaksana pranamanat dhyanadina drolabam date bhakti rasam saiva bhagavan Gaura param megati. Gaura Bhagavan is my supreme shelter. That prema bhakti rasa which cannot be attained with thousands and thousands of lives of following Vaidhi bhakti, hearing, chanting, remembering, serving the deities, meditating, and so on. Mahaprabhu is giving. Patra. Whether you are patra, whether you are qualified, or apatra, you are not qualified. Once, one wealthy man, he decided for his punya, he wanted to distribute the kheer, sweet rice, Mahaprasad to everyone. So he got his cooks to make a very big pot of sweet rice and offer to Sri Krishna. And then he went into the main street and he was distributing kheer, sweet rice to everyone. The people were standing in a long queue and everyone was happily, they were filling their tiffins and going home and sometimes going to the back of the queue for seconds. But one man was very sad. He was sitting in the corner. And the rich man told him, hey, come here. Why don't you take some kheer? He said, oh, I have no patra. I have no tiffin. I have no patra, no receptacle to receive it in. So that wealthy man said, don't worry, I'll give you a patra. So then he took his own tiffin and gave it to that poor person. Then he filled the tiffin with kheer. And he went away and relished that. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like that. Patra vicharanam na kurute. He doesn't see if you are qualified or unqualified. If you are not patra, if you are not qualified, then he'll call you and then he'll clean you and he'll give you a patra and then he'll fill it with the Krishna Prem. This is our Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Very kind. Na swam param bhikshata. He never sees. Are you in my party or in another party? If you see that Vaishnavas are in this party or that party, then how will you get the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never sees, are you in this party or that party, my party or someone else's party? For him, no one is an outsider. He's very kind. Deya vimashako nahinava kala patiksha Prabhu. He never thinks, what I'm giving, should it be given or not? What is he giving? Samarpaitum unnata ujjvala rasam swabhakti sriyam radha dasyam. The service of Srimati Radhika, the highest gift that was never given before in this day of Lord Brahma by anyone else ever, except for himself in the previous day of Brahma. Only he gives this, no one else. Should it be given to the dregs of Kali Yuga? So many avatars came and so many people were liberated. And now this Kali Yuga came and all the dregs are left in the bottom of the barrel. Should they get this higher thing? He never care. He doesn't care. Should it be given or not? Let me give. Maybe he should wait until the end of Kali Yuga, and then when Satya Yuga starts, the people will be more qualified. Yeah? No. Kala Pratiksha. He does not wait for opportune time. No problem. This Kali Yuga, in this dark age, still Mahaprabhu is giving this great gift. So he's so merciful. When he was young, he had his pastimes called Vidyavilas. Very wonderful. Vidyavilas means his pastimes of education. Studying Vyakaranam, Sanskrit grammar. Studying Navyanyaya, the new school of logic, which had become so powerful and popular in Navadvip at that time, and going everywhere and picking quarrels with people and engaging in debates. One day, Nimai, he was crossing the Ganga in a boat because his higher education was on the other side of the river. And there was one student, one school friend was there with him, named Raghunath. He is now famous as Raghunath Shiramani. He wrote Didhiti, commentary on Navyanyaya. And that commentary was so influential that the history of Nyaya is divided into two parts, the pre-Raghunath period and the post-Raghunath period. He changed it so much. So when he was a boy, he was in a boat with Nimai. And Raghunath said, "Oh Nimai, I have written a commentary on the Navyanyaya of the Gangadhara from Mathila." That commentary which became world famous. But now no one has seen it, only he, and he wants to show it to Nimai. Nimai said, "Oh really, you wrote a commentary on Navyanyaya? That's a great coincidence because I also wrote a commentary on Navyanyaya. Do you want to see it?" Yes. So they exchanged their commentaries with each other. Oh, this is a little bit, yeah. That's why I'm a bit, it's a bit too cold for me. Thank you. So they exchanged commentaries and they were reading each other's commentaries. After a few minutes, then Raghunath was crying. Nimai said, "Why are you crying?" He said, "I worked so hard on my commentary for so many years. I thought it was so good. But now I'm reading your commentary. Then I realize no one will read my commentary. No one will respect my commentary after reading your commentary." Nimai said, "That's why you're crying?" I said, yes, that's why I'm crying. My life's work now ruined, eclipsed by your brilliance. Nimai said, "Give me that." And he grabbed his own commentary out of his hand and he wrapped it up and he threw it in the Ganga. And then his commentary became world famous. So there's a personality in Jaiva Dharma named Brajanath. And it's just after the disappearance, some years after Mahaprabhu was in this world, and day and night he's dreaming, maybe I could find that commentary. You've read in Jaiva Dharma? Maybe it floated and washed up on the shore somewhere and someone found it. And day and night he's thinking, Nimai Pandit, where can I find this commentary? It must be so good. And what happens? Just by remembering Nimai Pandit, that logician, he came into Sadhu Sangha and he became a Vaishnava. So how merciful is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Why did he wrap up his commentary and throw it in the Ganga? Why? Because he wanted to show us, don't waste your time in the logic and arguments. Taka patisthanat. The absolute truth cannot be understood by the material logic and arguments of the mundane mind. Any argument, you may be very logical, but any argument has to be based on some premises. And where do you get the premises from? Logic cannot generate its own premises. The premises have to be based on your experience, your sense experience. and your senses are limited and imperfect. So even if your logic is so good, but you only can process premises which are limited and imperfect, and so logic is already deconstructed and delegitimized from the very beginning, just on this point. What to speak about the limitation of human logic as well. So don't try to follow this. Nimai Pandit, when he went to Gaya, after the passing away of his father, he went to Gaya to do Pinda. And there he met Srila Ishwara Puripad. Now don't think that was the first meeting with Srila Ishwara Puripad. No, Srila Ishwara Puripad was coming to Navadvip, and he was giving class on his own poem called Krishna Lilamrita, sometimes in the house of Gadara Pandit, sometimes in other places. And Nimai used to go and listen to his katha for several months. But now, after some time, in Gaya, he met Srila Ishwara Puripad, and now he was convinced, I need to take shelter of Srila Ishwara Puripad and accept him as my Guru Pada Padma. You see? Nimai Pandit didn't take initiation in one day. You know, like now in Kali Yuga, it's like a McDonald's drive-through. Just psh. Anyone pulls up in a car, you want Diksha? Okay, boom, and then they go away. Done. Like fast food. This is not the process. Mahaprabhu was hearing from so many Vaishnavas, and after hearing from Ishwara Puripad for several months, it's described in Chaitanya Bhagavat, and digesting. And then some year or so later, he was in Gaya, and when he met him, I want to take shelter. And he requested from him. Because Nimai was coming from a logical background, he wanted to know from him about Vedanta Sutra. Because Vedanta Sutra is the Jnana Kanda, the Upanishads, the method of knowledge, and it leads one to bhakti. Jnana vidya kutrena shitena dhira. Shri Krishna said in the 11th canto that Gyan, knowledge, is like an axe. And you sharpen it by listening to Guru and engaging in service. And by the axe of knowledge, you cut yourself from the subtle body. Subtle body is causing the consciousness to be attached to the gross body. And then you put the axe down. Then you don't need it anymore. Not necessary. After that, by pure saddha, by pure faith, one can enter into the divine realm. So, Vedanta is the path to approach understanding the Vedas through knowledge, but it must be heard from Sri Guru. The Vedas are actually the preliminary introduction to spiritual knowledge. They are like a desire tree. They can fulfill all desires. If you want to go to heaven, if you want to be wealthy, if you want to have sons, everything is there in the Vedas for you. But the important thing about desire tree is not what you want from the desire tree, but what the desire tree wants to give to you. And the desire tree of the Vedas wants to give to us its fruit. And what is the fruit of the desire tree of the Vedas? Nigama kalpataro galitam palam shukamukadamrita drabasam yutam pibat bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha. Oh. The juicy, mature fruit of the desire tree of the Vedas is Srimad Bhagavatam. And that is full of Krishna's pastimes. The direct pastimes of Krishna have not been described in the Vedas, Vedic mantra. Only some hints are there. So Srimati Shamarani was asking yesterday, what is this? We study Shastra, but it's saying by following Bhakti you go beyond the Vedas. Because the Vedas are only a preliminary philosophical thesis leading one to the conclusion. You must do Bhakti. And then Krishna Bhakti Rasa Swarup Sri Bhagavata Sarva Veda Shastra Hoiti Parama Mahatva. Krishna Bhakti Rasa Swarup, the Rasa Swarup is Srimad Bhagavatam, and of all the Vedic literatures, it is the most important. Just like Uddhavji said when he came to Vrindavan. Kim Brahma Janmabhiya Ananta Katara Sasya. He said, what is the use of taking birth as Lord Brahma if you don't have taste in the glories of Braja Gopis? That Ananta Katha. Or what is the value of taking birth in a Brahmin family if you don't have taste in the glories of Braja Gopis Ananta Katha? There's Ananta Rasa in the Rasa Lila, unlimited Rasa. So that is the Ananta Katha. And if you have taste in the glories of Braja Gopis, then what is the use of taking birth in a Brahmin family or as Lord Brahma? No need. If you have that taste. Because that taste is a seed and it will grow. Govinda eva nikala maniruddha bhava vanchanti yad bhava bhayo munyo vayamcha kim brahma janmabhir ananta katara sasya. Another meaning. Kim brahma janmabhir. Not birth as a Brahmin, but here Brahma means Brahma Vidya, the knowledge of the Vedas. What is the use of having the Brahma Janma, the Vedic knowledge, take birth in your heart if you don't have taste in the glories of Braja Gopis? Why? Because the Brahma Vidya, the knowledge of the truth coming from the Vedas, is like a boat. If you use a boat to cross the river, but when you get to the other side of the river, you just sit in the boat and stay there. You don't get out and leave the boat behind so you can walk on the land. Then, what is this? This is foolishness. This is Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary on this verse of Uddhav. Kim Brahma Janmabhe Ananta Katara Sasya. So if you use the Vedic knowledge to understand that you're not the body, that God exists and you're His servant, and you should chant His holy name, but you remember, then, what is this? This is Vishwanath Chakravarti of Uddhav. Ananta. So if you understand that God exists, you should chant, you remember, and don't become absorbed in the Rasakatar of Srimad Bhagavatam, then it is only foolishness, a waste of time. So, Vedeshu, Yagyashu, Tapasu, Chaiva. Srimati Shamrat, this question was so nice. The whole night I was thinking about this question. Sadhu Sangha is so inspiring. So, when Nimai Pandit came to Ishvara Puripad, because he was coming from a logic background, he said, "Oh Gurudev, please, can you teach me Vedanta?" And what did Srila Ishvara Puripad say to him? Yes, you are murka. You are fool. You cannot understand Vedanta. Just understand this. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nameva Kevalam, Kalo Nashteva, 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 Gatir Anyata. So someone who does not have faith, they might think, oh, this is a rip-off. He wants to know Vedanta and become very learned, but he's just saying, chant Hare Krishna. This is a change-up. But no, this Harinam, by chanting Harinam, you can understand everything about Vedanta which you might not understand by studying Vedanta. There's no guarantee that you'll understand it, actually. You know what Vedanta says? That is illustrated in the life of Nimai. His guru gave him mantra and he began to chant the mantra. And what happened? Oh, he had the pastime of becoming liberated. Krishna mantra, Krishna nama, mantra hoite sangsara Krishna mantra hoite, Krishna mantra hoite samsara mochan. Krishna nama hoite pabe Sri Krishna charan. His guru told him that if you remember the Diksha mantra, you'll be liberated from this world. And then when you chant Hare Krishna, the Nam mantra, then you'll directly serve the lotus feet of Krishna. And he experienced this, sometimes laughing, sometimes crying. He became quite mad. And he came back to his guru with so many doubts, wondering, what happened to me? All my knowledge from before has become covered over. I've forgotten everything. Kiba mantra diligo sai, kiba tarobal, jopite mantra koile pagal. Oh Gurudev, what kind of mantra did you give me? I was chanting it and I became mad. His guru was very satisfied. He thought, I am fortunate to have a disciple like you. So he told him, Krishna Nama Maha Mantra Eto Swabhav Jai Jape Tare Krishna Upajai Bhav. This is the nature, this is the Swabhav of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, that if anyone will repeat it, then Bhav will rise up in their heart. They'll become overwhelmed with so many ecstatic feelings. So then when Nimai Pandit, after returning from Gaya, he arrived in Navadvip Dham. Then he came to report to duty for his duties at the school of Gangadas Pandit, because he himself was teaching just next door in the house of Mukunja Sanjay in his Durga Mandap, but under the auspices of Gangadas Pandit. So he came and gave pranam to his Gurudev, and his Guru saw that he'd become overwhelmed with love. And he told him, oh, today there's no need to teach. Even if Lord Brahma will come and tell you to give a class, don't give class today. Go back to your home, but tomorrow come and you should continue teaching your students. So the next day when Nimai came and he sat down with his students and they all took their books, so they have a tradition when they open their palm leaf manuscripts like this, they say, Hari! So Nimai Pandit, he told the students, open your books, and they all went, Hari! And when he heard the name Hari, he lost the external consciousness and he just began to speak. He was in half internal, half external consciousness. If the students asked him a question, what is the purpose of Varnashram Dharma? Krishna. What is the meaning of this verbal root? Krishna. What is the meaning of these grammatical cases? Krishna. Whatever question they asked, the answer was always Krishna. Why? Because the material covering, because Mahaprabhu doesn't have material covering, but he's having the pastime. When we receive Diksha, the material covering of the ear becomes pierced by Shabda Brahma, and it reveals the nature of all sounds. This is the teaching of Vedanta. Every word is a name of Krishna. For one who is freed from the illusion of duality, one who is situated in a Advai Gyan, non-dual consciousness. For them, every sound is glorifying Sri Krishna. So then you're looking at me like, oh, are you mad? That's what happened also to Nimai Pandit. The students thought, what happened to our teacher? He became quite mad. Afterwards, when he came back into regular consciousness, he said, did you understand what I said? They said, no, we couldn't understand anything. Couldn't understand anything. Nimai said, I'm sorry, I cannot teach you this syllabus anymore. If you want to study this syllabus of grammar and logic, then you'll have to go to another teacher. Then his students began to cry. They said, we don't want to go to another teacher. We don't care about the syllabus. Whatever you want to teach us, we'll learn that. So then Nimai, he said, all right, then you clap your hands. Hare Hare Namo Krishna Yadavaya Namo. Hare Hare Namo Krishna Yadavaya Namo. Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan. This was the first kirtan. Then Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Hare Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. The names here, Yadavaya, they are in the dative case. It indicates the relationship. So the teaching is first surrender to Krishna, have a relation with Krishna by a mantra in the dative case. Hare, unto Hari. Yadavaya, unto Yadav. And then Gopal, Govinda, Ram, Sri Madhusudan, all in the vocative case. Then chant the name of Krishna in the vocative case, and one will attain Krishna Prem. This is the teaching. So in this way, our Sri Sachinandan Gohari, he began his Sankirtan movement. But what was he saying? What he was saying to his students that at first they could not understand, that was the conclusion of Vedanta. In Vedanta, it is said, characharo vyapasrayastu syat tad vyapadesho bhaktas tad bhava bhavitvat. The meaning is this. Before the creation, nothing existed of the material world, only Krishna. Aham maiva samaiva gre nan yad sadasad param pascharaham yadechatscha yovasisyeta sosmyaham. Chatusloki Bhagavatam, first verse. Before the creation, only I existed. And when the creation is dissolved, in the end, only I exist. But in the middle, actually no, in the middle, only I exist. This is the first teaching, the Sambandha Gyan of Srimad Bhagavatam. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavam mam prapadyate Vasudeva sarvamiti sama atma sudurlabha. After many births and deaths, those who actually attain knowledge, who surrender to me, they realize Vasudeva sarvamiti. Everything is Sri Krishna everywhere. Only Sri Krishna. Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Such a soul is very, very rare. What does it mean? Doesn't mean that you are Krishna. We are individual souls. But what we are thinking is this thing and that thing and this thing and that thing is actually Sri Krishna's Virat Rup universal form. This is why several times, 3-4 times in Srimad Bhagavatam, the description of creation has been given to destroy our vision of duality. First there is Pradhan. It is a pure potential, the material energy, just pure potential with no shapes, forms or characteristics. Then the Paramatma enters into it. Kiradakashai Vishnu enters into that and he causes it to transform into all the forms that you can see. So every form is his form primarily. Understand? This is this world. Every form is primarily his form, and therefore every word is primarily describing him, and only secondarily. Vyapadesho tad bhaktas tad bhava bhavitvat. Vedanta Sutta said, primarily every word is his name, and only secondarily does it refer to the things as we conceive of them in our conventional experience. Only those who go into the, at least Savikalpa Samadhi, Nishta, Ekagrata, one-pointed consciousness, they can understand this. Otherwise, we identify with one of those forms and then we see everything. The world is full of independent objects randomly bumping into each other in a chaos. And when we become free from our ahankar, then we see Vasudeva Sarvamiti. And everything becomes harmonized into a non-dual experience, Advaya Gyan. Without Advaya Gyan, how can we realize Krishna? Can't even realize Brahman without Advaya Gyan. This is why Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur called his journal the Harmonist. Because in our state of duality, we see random chaos of hostile entities all competing with each other. And when the consciousness becomes purified, everything is harmonized into one non-dual reality. Of course, it's full of variety. It's Krishna's variegated. It's his Vaibhav, his Vichitrata. So Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, Yesham twantagatam papam jananam punyakamanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajanti mam hridabrata. Those persons who have become freed from sins and acted piously in this life and previous lives. Here, the pious activity means not karma punya, means sadhu sangha, serving Vaishnavas. Those who have served Vaishnavas in this life and in previous lives and become free from their sins, te dvandva moha nirmukta, they become free from dualistic vision. Bhajanti mam dhridabrataha. They can do bhajan with determination. Not others. Others become always bewildered by the world. They're in a state of moha. And so they become entangled in dualities. Upajiba body lata brahmanda bedi jai. Biraja brahmaloka bedi parabyoma pai. Mapu said the bhakti lata beach pierces the covering of the universe. Then it goes in the Viraja river. Then it goes in Brahman. And then Paravyom, then it goes to Vaikuntha. Then it goes to Golok. If your bhakti lata beach does not pierce the covering of the universe, then how you conceive? Cannot even conceive of Brahman, let alone Vaikuntha or Goloka Vrindavan. Then your conception will not be of Gopi. It will be, as Gurudev used to say, Goopy. Goopy Bhav. Just something bizarre. So, Mahaprabhu, by his own example, he received Diksha from his Gurudev and he became beyond duality. He realized the Vidvat Ruddhibriti, the real meaning of all words. And that was illustrated by the seminars that he gave when he came back to the seminars he gave to his students, and everyone thought he was mad and they could not understand. Until they began to chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Then they became free from duality. Then they could understand, yes. Now, he didn't become crazy. The whole world is crazy. He became sane. He came out of illusion and into the light of truth. And he has brought us there with him through his Prema Nam Sankirtan. So in this way, Mahaprabhu taught us what is really the effect of initiation. Vidvat Ruddhi Diksha. Not Diksha only formality, Anustanik Diksha, a ceremony, a worldly convention. But Vidvat Ruddhi Diksha, the Diksha that transforms our consciousness, by which we become free from duality and absorbed in Sri Krishna. So you can see that Nimai Pandit, he became so greedy to serve the lotus feet of Krishna. Even he left Navadvip Dham, and there in Puri, he's showing us how to be absorbed in bhakti. Snan darshana bhojan deya swabhav hoy kumarera chakajena satata pirai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad said that what were the days like for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri? Snan, he would wake up and take bath. Darshan, he would go to the Jagannath temple for the darshan of Lord Jagannath. Then he would come back, Bhojan, and take food. Then he would take snan again, go for darshan again, and so on. This was his life. Dine nritya kirtan, Ishwara darshan, Ratri swarup raisane, Rasa ashwadan. In the daytime, dancing and singing and taking darshan of Lord Jagannath, and in the nighttime, rasa swadan, relishing harikatha, full of rasa with Swarup Damodar and Roy Ramananda. This was his life. So Kumarera Chokajena Satatapirai means Kumara, that is a potter. When he wants to make a pot, he takes his big stone wheel and he takes a lump of clay and he drops it on the stone wheel. Then he he works hard like this, making the wheel spin. But once it has momentum, it spins by itself, and he takes his hands off the wheel. Two hands are free to create his artwork. So Mahaprabhu's life was like that. You know, a sadhak, firstly in the stage of sadhana, it's difficult. Waking up, doing attending Mangalatik, remembering Gayatri mantras, chanting, studying Shastra, hearing Harikatha, doing service in the temple. It seems like hard work at first. But gradually, as the subtle body begins to dissolve, Jariyatyasu yakosham nirginam analoyata. Kapil Dev, he describes that bhakti dissolves your subtle body. Just like when you eat food, you don't know how the food is being digested, but it's digested anyway. So in the same way, when we're absorbed in serving, in all the activities of devotional service, then we may not know how it's happening, but the subtle body is being dissolved, it's being digested. And then one becomes Jivan Mukta, liberated while still in this world. The physical body is not the cause of the bondage. The subtle body is the cause of the bondage. So when it's dissolved, one becomes liberated while still visible to everyone in this world. Jivan Mukta. So when one does sadhan, gradually, or the subtle body is digested, and then one's waking, singing, studying, and darshan, they're all going on in like just a flow of mercy automatically. One's outer activities are going on, and internally one is completely free to be absorbed in the service of Radha and Krishna. So this is the example given of Mahaprabhu. Snana darashana bhojan deya swabhav hoy. He's bathing, he's eating, he's going to the temple and coming back. It was the swabhav of his body, nature of his body was going on. But inwardly, he was just completely absorbed in the pastimes of Sri Krishna all the time. So Mahaprabhu has given this example. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj describes one morning, Mahaprabhu, he got up, took a bath, and he went to the Jagannath temple. But what did he see? When he looked, he didn't see the Chakadola, the big wheel eyes, the form of Lord Jagannath as we remember him. But he saw Sham Sundar Krishna, Tribanga Lalit Sri Krishna in Vrindavan. But not in the way that the ordinary person will see. Why? Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is absorbed in Radha Bhav, completely absorbed in the mood of Radhika. And now Krishna himself is experiencing what it's like for Radhika to see Krishna. And that was something that he didn't know. Huh? He didn't know. That's why Krishna has appeared as Gauranga. What is the beauty in me that she sees that no one else can see? Now that desire is being fulfilled. So when Mahaprabhu, he saw Lord Jagannath, he became so overwhelmed with ecstasy, he fainted. And then it was time for the Bal Bhoga offering, and his associates brought him back to the Gambhira. And in the evening, he put his arms around the neck of Swarup Damodar and began to express, because that's Lalita and Vishaka Sakhi. It's the nature of a Sakhi, that when they feel something, that they cannot hold it inside, they must speak about it. This is the nature of a Sakhi. So in the mood of Radhika, speaking to her Sakhis, then Mahaprabhu began to speak. Saundaryamritu sindhu bangalalana chittadrisam plavaka karna nandisanama ramrabachana kotindu sitangika saurabhyamrita samplabhavata jagat piyusharam yadara Sri Gopendra Sutas Karshli Balat Panchindriyanyalime. He said, oh, the Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasagandha, that is the form, the beauty, the touch, the sound, the taste and the smell of Krishna. They're all so beautiful that they are forcefully attracting all of my senses at the same time. Usually when we look at something, we feel like we're in control of our senses and we guide them. I'll look over there, now I'll look over. But Radhika doesn't feel this because she has rag, spontaneous, unquenchable, loving thirst in all of her senses. She feels as if the beauty, the fragrance, the sound of Sri Krishna is forcefully catching all of her senses and pulling them at the same time. Mahaprabhu said, in the mood of Radhika, my mind is like a horse. And if there are 5 people riding a horse and trying to pull it in 5 directions all at the same time, then the poor horse will die. How can I tolerate this? And this is his explanation why he fainted. Because you know what the function of the mind is? The function of the mind is to prioritize which sense you give your attention to. That's why if I'm speaking, but then you notice something going on over there and you look, and now your mind prioritizes your eyes, even though, you can close your eyes, but you don't have earlids. You can't close your ears, right? So your ears are still open, but because your mind prioritized the eyes, you don't hear what I said. You notice that? So the senses are like that. The mind always prioritizes one, and when one is working, then the others fade into the background. That's what normally happens. But Radhika's experience is so intense. Her attraction to Krishna is so indescribable and inconceivably powerful that all of her senses are being pulled towards him at the same time by force, and her mind can't cope and she faints. This is what Mahaprabhu is saying. Mahaprabhu said, Saundaryamyata sindhu bangalalana chittadri samplavaka. In the mood of Radhika, she's saying, we gopis, our chitta, our hearts are like a very high mountains. And see, Krishna's beauty is like an ocean. So usually the ocean is far away from the mountains. You know, if there's a tidal wave, only some towns along the coasts, they get flooded. But the top of the mountains, they're fine. You know, sometimes there's a tidal wave in Orissa and Jagannath Puri becomes flooded. But the Himalayas are fine. Radharani is saying, no, Krishna's beauty is not like that. When I see Krishna's beauty, there are huge waves of rasa, waves of nectar, and my heart is like a mountain, and as if this tidal wave of beauty, not one, many waves, they're coming, and they're so high, even the Himalayan mountains are submerged and go beneath the water. This is Krishna's beauty. This is darshan. Huh? Did you have darshan this morning? This is darshan. This is how Radhika sees Krishna. Even Krishna does not know how Radhika sees Krishna. But now he is experiencing it in Gaura Lila. And so Radhika begins to faint. She becomes completely bewildered. Saundaryamrita sindhu bangalala chittadri samplavaka. It's very interesting. Because, you know what it's like if you're in the water and you see the world and all the sounds and people around you, but then when you dunk under the water, it's like everything disappears, right? Everything disappears, and you're in another world. So that's what happens to Radhika when she sees Krishna. I'm not speaking about the other four senses, only her eyes. Only seeing him, the roop of Krishna, it's as if the entire world disappears and she's immersed in that. So Rupa Goswami has described, Kim swapnasya vilakshana gatiriyam kim jagarasya tava kim ratte upasati eva rabasad anaha kimanayava itam shamala chandrika parichayas pandena sandipita antakshobha kula aham parivrita pragyatam agya bhavam. Radharani is saying to her Sakhis, even not seeing Krishna, only I saw a picture of Krishna. And when I looked, his sham complexion, lahara lahara sri shama juki. Sometimes we look at something and it seems to be glowing. But see, Krishna, his glowing is coming in waves, lahara, waves of beauty. He's like a moon, but just as a moon is light and has chandrikas, it rarely, but sometimes chandrikas, a flash of a chandrika, a moonbeam comes from the moon. See, Krishna is like a moon which is not light, he's a sham moon, he's a dark moon. Sham, like indigo color, like a blue lotus. And it is as if there's a dense mass, not one chandrika, but millions of chandrikas are emanating from his body at the same time and causing everything to become tinged with a bluish glow. And these, not one wave of chandrikas, but many, many waves of dense chandrikas are emanating from his body. And at that time, antakshobha kula aham, I become so agitated seeing his beauty. I become so agitated that I lose awareness what's going on. Kim swapnasya bilakshana gatiriyam kim jagarasya atava. Radharani thinks, is this a dream? Am I dreaming? Or am I awake? Kim rate upasati eva rabasad anha kimanaiva. Is it daytime or is it nighttime? She loses her bearings completely. What is her location? In reality, it's gone. As she drowns in the waves of the Sham Chandrikas emanating from the body of Krishna. This is darshan. So Saundaryamrita sindhu bangalalana. This is called Moha. Perhaps you've heard of the name Madan Mohan, right? Krishna is called Mohan. We sang a song before class today. It was the song by Radha Mohan. So this is the meaning of the Sanchari Bhav, Moha. When Radhika just completely loses her locus in reality. Is it day, is it night? Am I awake or am I dreaming? Just by seeing the complexion of Krishna. That is called Moha. So now you know the meaning. Madan Mohan. He causes Moha by his the waves of beauty. Not only that, but that beauty is so wonderful, it is as if Radhika has never seen it ever before in her life. When she sees Krishna, she catches the hand of her Saki. Why? Because she's Moha, she's starting to faint. And she cannot stand up. The Sakis are holding her up because it will be embarrassing if Krishna can just defeat her like that in a moment. That's why Lalita says, Durte brajenda tanayetanu. Krishna is wicked cheetah. Don't be submissive to him. Lalita will say that if Krishna has done something wrong. But Lalita will say it even if Krishna is completely innocent and he hasn't done anything wrong. Why? Just to stop her from fainting by changing her mood. Understand? Krishna didn't do anything. Oh, do you know what he did? What? She's trying to make her angry so she doesn't faint. To change the mood of the ecstasy of the beauty of seeing Krishna. So that time, Radhika says, Kulavara tanu dharma, grava brindani bindan, sumukhi nishita dirga, panga tanka chatabi. Yugapad ayam apurva, kapuro vishvakarma, marakatamani lakshair, marakatimani lakshair, gosta kaksham chinoti. What Srila Rupa Goswami revealed by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about Radharani's inner mood, it is apurva, unprecedented, inconceivable. No one could know these things before, but by the mercy of Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Shtapitam Yena Bhutale, he revealed what Mahaprabhu wanted to show to the world, what he experienced, being in the mood of Radhika and just looking towards Sri Krishna. Radhika saying to her Saki, oh, Kulavaratanu dharma, grava vrindani bindan. The chaste gopis of Braja, they're a Kulavadu. They're from very exalted families. For many dynasties, everyone was very religious, and so their families have great respect, honor in society for being ideal. And so their adherence to Dharma and their adherence to chastity is as solid as granite, solid as rock. But this boy, he keeps looking at me. And each one of his glances is like a chisel. And he's like an artist. You know the sculptor, he takes the chisel and he cuts away and the chips are coming off the rock. Until he creates a beautiful work of art. So Radhika is saying, when this boy looks at me and all the other gopis, their dharma, their satitva, their chastity is as hard as stone. But his glances are just, and they're breaking. And all their adherence to dharma, their shyness, their fear of their relatives, which is as hard as stone, is just broken into pieces of gravel. Grava, vrindam, bindan. The Sanskrit word for gravel is grava, same thing. Their hard stone just becomes gravel. It's just broken by his glances. Oh, what can we do? Sumaki nishita dirga panga. Chatta chatabi tanka chatabi here is breaking away everything. Yugapadayama purva. And at the same time, this artistic person, Kapura Vishwakama, I don't know who he is. Radharani is saying, who is this artistic person? She's seen him every day of her life since she was a small baby. And he looks so new and fresh. She's bewildered. And asks Saki, Kobala, who is that boy? You know, in Navadvip Dham, when we go to Ritudvip, there's a village. And that place is non-different from Radhakund. What's the village called? Kobla. Kobla. It comes from the Sanskrit, Kobala. Kahabala becomes Kobala. according to Sanskrit grammar, means, who's that boy? Because the beauty of Krishna is so intense. And Radhika's anurag, actually, what is anurag? Sadanubhutam apiyaha kuryan nava navam priyam. Rago bhavan nava nava sanuro raga itiyate is the definition of anurag. The love which is newer and newer at every moment, and which makes the object of love newer and newer at every moment, is called anurag. So Radhika doesn't even recognize who it is. Who is that boy who is breaking the granite of the dharma of all the gopis into gravel just by his sidelong glance? Who is that Vishwakarma, that artistic person who I've never seen before? He's also, Yugapad means simultaneously, not only breaking the rocks of the heart's determination, but he's also constructing. Marakatamani lakshay gostakaksham chinoti. A gostakaksh is one like meeting place, a small private room for a meeting. So he's like an architect who is simultaneously, by his glance and his beauty, his sham color beauty, he is constructing a secret meeting house made of marakata, sapphires. Understand? The psychology is very wonderful. Radhika's telling what she feels from her perspective. You know, if someone constructed a meeting house, a secret meeting place made of sapphires, and then you go inside, then that person can meet secretly with their beloved, and no one can see them. So actually Radhika is standing in an open place. Anyone might be able to see her. But because of moha, bewilderment, everything is disappearing and is filled with the sham color. It's subjectively as if he's constructed a secret meeting place made of sapphires. Right? She's in an open place on the road. But that's her inner experience. This is why Mahaprabhu is saying, Saundaryamrita Sindhu Bangalalana. When I see Krishna, his beauty comes in waves, and it's like the mountain of my consciousness disappeared on the ocean because everything else vanished. And it's just me and Krishna. This is moha. This is darshan. Did you have darshan this morning? Yeah. Only if we follow behind Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If we, his Anugatjan, especially actually behind Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami is following Mahaprabhu and we follow Rupa Goswami. Actually we follow Guru Parampara and now Gurudev. So we have to get in line in the Rupa Nuga Dhara. If we follow behind them, only then such a darshan is possible. So Saundaryam Ritusingu Bangalalana Chittadri Samplavaka Karna Nandi Sanarma Ramya Vachana Koti. Then Radhika is saying, and the sound of his words. Oh. The sound of Krishna's words are Karna Nandi. They give such joy to the ears. Why? Because his words are Sanarma Ramya. They are Ramya Vachana, sweet, enchanting words with the Sanarma, full of jokes. He's the Dilalit Nayak, so he's the Parihasa Visharda. He's the life and soul of the party. He knows how to speak in such a way to make everyone burst out laughing. Full of humor. And when Hasyaras is mixed with Sringaras, then it's very tasteful. Hasya and Sringar together is very tasteful. That is expressed by Madhyama Rag. So gopis sing in Madhyama Rag when the Hasya and Sringar are mixed together. So how clever, how cunning are the words of Krishna? If Krishna will approach the gopis, if you go to Chandravali, now Chandravali generally she's submissive, but she can also become upset sometimes. But because of her Grita Sneha, not Madhu Sneha, which is quite tempestuous and impetuous, she is more reserved and she feels inside she becomes crooked. I'm not going to collaborate or cooperate with Krishna. And outwardly she shows respect. So once Krishna approached Chandravali, and Chandravali was just very cool towards him because she was internally upset. The Bamya Bhav, the contrariness in her heart, sometimes is called Bamya Gandha. A little fragrance of the contrary mood comes out. And then Krishna can understand, oh, she's upset with me. So then, he said to Chandravali, Labdam mam abhilokya dhanvi puruto ramari abhyudgata netre padya vidim charaj jalabare pratyarpayan chakratu vakshastaskalad utariyam adishat dibhyasanam sambramad vamayastava dakshina parikaro distadya vritto mai. He's so clever. Krishna, noticing that she was a contrary to him, he said, oh, today I am very fortunate. Why? Because even though you are Bhamya, you are contrary to me today, but I see that all of your associates are Dakshinya. They're very submissive to me. How is it that you are contrary to me, but all your associates are Dakshin, they are submissive to me? Labdam mam abilokya thanvi puruto. As soon as you saw me, you tried to hide your feeling of joy and be serious. But just as when a respectable person walks into an assembly, what happens? Everyone stands up to receive them. So as soon as you saw me, I noticed that all your hair stood on end to receive me. Then when a respectable person comes to the assembly, what do? They come forward with a bowl and a jug and a cloth, and then they wash that person's feet. So your hair stood on end to receive me respectfully. Then I saw a tear came in your eye, as if to wash my feet. And then I saw that your veil, your anchal that was covering your chest slipped. It's one of the symptoms of attraction. So the veil that was covering your breast slipped, as if to offer me a sitting place, an asana, as well. Please take your seat. So in this way, just as a respectable person is met with everyone standing up, then washing their feet and offering them a seat, even though today you are contrary to me, but all of your associates, your hairs, your eyes, your cloth, they're all very kind to me today. So this is my good fortune. So Kana Nandi Sanama Ramya Bhajan. How the words of Krishna, full of jokes, give ananda, give joy to the ears. It is amazing. Once Krishna came to meet with Radharani, and he was late. They made an arrangement that they should meet where? In the Keshar Kunj. So Radharani went to the Keshar Kunj. Another name of Keshar is Bakul. But Krishna, somehow or other, he got sidetracked and diverted into the Kunj of Chandravali, so he was very, very late. And Radhika and her Sakis were so upset. So then Krishna was thinking, how can I come up with an excuse that has plausible deniability? So then he came up with the idea. You know, we decide to meet in Keshar Kunj, but there are two types of Keshar. One is Bakul, and that's where we actually decided to meet. Radharani was in the Bakul Kunj waiting for me. But I'll pretend that I thought she meant Keshar Kunj, Nag Keshar. There's another type of flower called Nag Keshar. Once we were in the Jagannath Balabhatika in Jagannath Puri, where Mahaprabhu was resting and he was massaged by Prataparudra Maharaj. Once I was walking through there with Gurudev, and he was pointing out all the different flowers, and I remember he said, this is called Nag Keshar. It's like a Keshar flower, but it was long, a bit like a snake. And he picked one. He said, the gopis give this to Krishna. If they want to offer a flower, but if they think, oh, you are like a snake, then they give him this. They don't have to say anything. Okay. Gurudev said this, and he picked the flower and gave it to me. Not that I am a snake. But he's teaching me how to tease Krishna. Oh, Krishna, this is for you. My offering for you. So, Krishna was thinking, I will go to the Nagkeshar Kunj and pick a big bunch of flowers from there. And then Krishna showed up at Radharani's Kunj and said, hey, what's going on? Where were you? I was waiting for you in the Kesha Kunj the whole night and you never came. And Gopi's eyes become big. What is he saying? This cheetah. This cheetah. We were waiting in the Kesha, that is Bakul. And now he's saying that actually the idea was to go to the Nag Kesha. Because Lalita was about to chastise him. And Krishna said, the whole night I was waiting for you and you never came. Look at this bunch of Kesha flowers. There was honey dripping from them. He said, seeing my suffering the whole night, even the flowers were weeping in sympathy for me. Look, just look. Here's the praman. Here's the evidence right here, you cruel girls. How could you abandon me like this? So then, Krishna, he became very submissive. He became very submissive to Radhika. And Lalita said, just see, why is he being so submissive? That means he's feeling guilt, right? Because if you've done something wrong, then you're extra careful. Lalita Sakhi said, look, that's the proof that he is guilty. Because he's being so humble. Krishna said, no, no, no. I am always this humble. I always want to just be the servant of Radhika. What to speak of myself being the servant of Radhika? But all my avatars are also serving Radhika. Chanchan Meena Vilochanasi Kramatut Kristastani Sangata Krodena Spurita Tavaya Madara Pralada Sambadana Madhyo So Balibandano Mukuracha Ramastwaya Nirjita Lebe Sri Ganatadya Lebe Sri Ganatad Adya Manini Manasyangi Krita Kalkita. See, Krishna is saying, oh Radhika, you have heard from Gagacharya that Tasman Nandat Majo Yamte Narayana Sumogunai. Gagacharya said, I have all qualities like Lord Narayan. So all of my avatars are serving you, Radhika, at all times. When one thing becomes the servant of the other, this is a poetic expression. It means that one thing is superior to the other in that respect. So he said, Chanchan Meena Vilochanasi. Oh, my Matsya avatar, he was like a fish. Have you seen fish? They swim like this and then suddenly go that way. They're moving slow and then suddenly they change direction. So my Matsya avatar is serving your beautiful eyes. Because Radhika's eyes are darting very quickly here and there. Kramatut Krista Stani Sangata. And two incarnations of Kurma Dev are serving your chest. Krodena. And my Kroda means the boar. It means a boar. But Kroda also means the part of the side of the body here that goes in a very beautiful woman. Then there's an indentation there and then goes out again. So Radhika has very narrow waists and very broad hips. She's Gajagamini. Gajagamini means Radhika walks like an elephant. If you stand behind an elephant in India, in the street they're walking, the elephant takes one step and the whole body swings this way, and then they take another step and the whole body swings that way. So Radhika walks like that, Gajagamini. So Krodena Spurita Tavayam means that your Kroda, your waist is worshipped by my Kroda. That is Barahadev. So it's called a Sleish. It's a play on words. Adara Pralada Samvadana. And also your Adar, your lips, they are Pralada Samvadana. Samvada means increasing and Pralada means joy. Your lips increase joy. There, Pralada Samvardana. But that can also mean it is nourishing Prahlad Maharaj. So in this way, by Sleish Vakya, your lips are worshipped by Lord Nrsingadev. My Lord Nrsingadev. Why? Because they are Prahlada Samvadana. They are increasing joy or nourishing Prahlad. Madhyo So Balibandano. And your belly is marked with 3 lines. Radhika has 3 lines on her belly. They call Bali Bandhan. But there was a person who did Bandhan. He tied up Bali Maharaj. So using this slash, this double meaning of words, on your belly this Bali Bandhan, very beautiful. And that is served by my, who? Baman Dev, Baman incarnation who bound up Bali Maharaj. Mukharucha Ramas Tvaya Nirjita. And the glow of your face, the beauty of your face is defeating 3 types of Rama. Here, Rama, it's in the plural. Rama, it can mean plural. It means all attractive ladies. Rama in the plural, all attractive ladies. But here the double meaning, actually the triple meaning, is 3 types of Ram. Balaram, Parishuram, and Dasarati Ram. So these 3 incarnations, they're all defeated by your face. And Lebe, Si Radha Raman Bihari Ju Ki Jai. And the beauty of your face. Lebe Sri Ganatadya Manini Manasyangi Krita Kalkita. Krishna is saying that Sri means beauty and Gana means condensed. So you are shining, and your shining is Gana. It is Sri Gana. It is condensed beauty. But Sri Gana is actually a name for Buddha. So your condensed beauty is served by your Sri Gana is served by my Sri Gana, by Buddha. And Manini Manasa Krita Kalkita. And your mind has become Kalkita. That means polluted by anger. You become angry with me now. So here, your Kalkita, your angry mind is being served by my Kalki incarnation. So in this way, using the Shlesh Alankar, the double meaning of words, just in a moment. Lalita says, oh, look how submissive he is. This proves that he is the guilty and he's hiding something. And Krishna said, no, I am always submissive to you. Just see. And at once, he starts speaking in poetry and describing actually the beauty of Radhika from head to toe, but using the Shlesh Alankar indicating all of his avatars. And the Dwani, the implication is, oh Radhika, I am simply submissive to you. I have come only to serve and please you. Don't be angry with me. So this is the what? Kana Nandi Sanama Ranga Bachana. The words of Krishna are so full of jokes and so charming and beautiful. I forget everything. Kotindu Sitangika. Radhika said, and the Sparsha. Yamaraj calling. If your phone goes off during Harikatha, you know, Harikatha is Amrita, makes you immortal. If you get distracted, this is Yamaraj calling you back to the world of birth and death. Always put your phone on silence or don't have a phone. Like me, I never had a phone my whole life. Even to this day, I will try to avoid, bless me that I can avoid the temptation of ever having a phone. So, how? How is the touch of Sri Krishna? How is the touch of Sri Krishna? When Radhika sees Krishna, she becomes so eager. She has kautuk. That means kautuk is such an overwhelming curiosity. What will happen if I will touch Krishna? Darun mila ni lutpala daluritas tasya nibidad viruddhanam sadyo karasar sijas parsha kutukat. Bahanti shobanam nivaham hiya nagya shishamidam kovaham kabaham chakara kimaham tam sakitada. Radhika is saying, just look at Saki, look at Krishna. Each one of his limbs is soft like a newly sprouted blue lotus. And when I see him, my mind becomes so overwhelmed with curiosity. What will happen if he touches me? And then being overwhelmed with the curiosity that of Krishna's touch, Radhika said, my heart becomes shobha, vihanti shobanam. So much disturbance comes in my heart that I become bewildered and I cannot understand. Kvabaham, kabaham, chakara kimahamba sakitada. Kvabaham means, where am I? Only seeing Krishna and being eager for his touch. Radhika thinks, am I standing on the street in a public place? Or am I in the courtyard of the Jatila Haveli, my mother-in-law's house? Or am I alone with Krishna in a kunj somewhere? Why does she think like this? Because she's having multiple spurtis at the same time. She's having a spurti of being on the street and seeing him. She's having a spurti because she feels fear. She's having a spurti of being in the courtyard garden of a home where Jyotila may be seeing. And because of her ambition to play with Krishna, she's having a spurti of being alone with him in a kunj, or we might say a sapphire meeting place. Simultaneously, spurtis are coming at the same time, and she's asking her Saki, which is the real one? Where am I? So Kovaham, Kavaham. Kavaham means, who am I? Am I the daughter-in-law of Jyotila, who has to perform her housework every day very diligently and never look at another man? Or am I the Sada Bhogyavastu? Am I some being who is just meant to be enjoyed eternally by Krishna? Some fear is there, and also her actual natural position of the Sada Bhogya Naika, the heroine who just exists to be enjoyed by Sri Krishna. Chakara kim ahamba sakitada. Oh Saki, what happened? Actually, nothing happened yet. Only she saw him and became eager to feel the cooling touch of Krishna, which is kotindu sitengika. That means more cooling than 10 million moons. And she becomes lost. Many spurtis are taking place at the same time. She does not know which spurti she's really in. And she said, Chakara ke mahamba, Saki, what happened? Did I just meet with him already? Did I meet with him and then become contrary and walk away? Or did I meet with him and enjoy with him in being a submissive heroine? Or did I meet with him and become pragalba, very bold? And be a pragalba heroine? What happened? Actually, nothing happened. But she's already experiencing so many different possibilities and types of meeting in the spurti. This is moha, the sanchari bhav of moha. That happens only seeing his form, hearing the sound of his voice, being eager to experience the touch of Krishna, Saurabhyamrita Samplabhavita Jagat, and the fragrance of Sri Krishna. Once it enters into the nostril of Radhika, it leaves a sanskar that she cannot forget it. And wherever she goes, she can still smell the fragrance of Krishna. The fragrance of Krishna is not there, but the sanskar is so strong. So Radhika says, Samplavavata Jagat. It seems that the entire universe has been covered by the fragrance of Krishna, because wherever I go, she's having the spurti. You know, don't think spurti only means a vision. You can have an olfactory spurti. A spurti of a fragrance as well. So due to separation, she's continually having the spurti of Krishna's fragrance. But she's that's her subjective experience. But she's speaking, oh, Krishna's fragrance has gone everywhere in the universe. You see how sweet the poetry of Rupa Goswami is. Actually, it is Krishna's Kaviraj, Govinda Lila Amrita. Krishna's Kaviraj. And why? Because they're describing Radhika's subjective experience. But it's so sweet and funny that Radhika thinks that's the way reality is. Now I am in an emerald meeting place, and Krishna's fragrance has spread all over the universe. But it's her experience. So, Swadyo yenadbhuta madhurima kiddishova madhya. Krishna was thinking, what is the sweetness in me that Radhika experiences? I don't know. And now in Gaura Lila, he's experiencing that. Oh, what time does the class go till?
I don't know, because it's only happening at this time because you're here.
Okay, a little bit more. Piyusha Ramyadra. And when Radhika sees the lips of Krishna, then it's as if her sense of taste is being pulled by force towards the lips of Sri Krishna. How amazing it is. Just like Braj Gopis, when they hear the sound of Krishna's flute, Gopya kimachra dayam kushalam swabeno damodaradra sudam api gopikanam. Just like Braj Gopis, flute. Dayam Rasudam you know Venugit. Yes. Brahmacharis, you have to know. Venugit first. Oh, Pranay Git, Yugal Git, Gopi Git, Yugal Git, Brahma Git, 5 Gits. Okay. Next year when I come back, I'll test you. So, this is a symptom of the Madan Bhav. Madan Bhav is such, what? Atureshaya ayogyepi prabali irsha vidayataha sadag bogepi tadganda matra dhara stavadaya. In Madan Bhav, there are many, many reactions, many astonishing reactions, very deep. We cannot go into it today, but only 2 because it's becoming relative in this kata. That even if some object is not a competitor, it's not worthy of being jealous of that object, but still, Radhika can become jealous of an insignificant object. Ayogyepi, it's ayogye, not qualified for jealousy. But Prabalisha becomes very jealous towards that object. Or Sada Bogepi Tadganda, even though Radhika is meeting with Krishna and relishing his beauty all the time, even in meeting she feels separation and she offers prayers and glorifies anything not close to Krishna. Anything which has the slightest connection with Krishna even from far away. So these are two symptoms of Madan Bhav. Like Duskarad Katuradali Malati Komalayam Akarat Tapapura Hanta Gostapati Nandanopama Ya Tamalamal Upaguhate. Once Radhika, she saw one jasmine vine, and the jasmine vine was wrapped around a tamal tree. And she said to her Saki, "Oh Saki, don't think that this jasmine vine is so soft, because actually this jasmine vine in a previous life did kator tapasya, very difficult, severe austerities. It must be true. Otherwise, how would it be possible that this jasmine vine is now embracing this tamal tree, whose complexion is somewhat similar to the complexion of Krishna? Huh? Just by a slight similarity. Huh? Now, you understand what she's saying? You understand what she's saying? How her love for Krishna is so intense. The tree is a little bit like Krishna, and she thinks that the jasmine vine did hard austerities for lifetimes just to embrace something similar to Krishna. Yes, you understand? It's clear? Okay, because that's not the whole thing. I'm just like, you have to, that's the first bit you have to understand. So in the definition of the symptoms of Madan Bhav, it said, Sada Bogepi Tadganda. Even though Radharani is enjoying with Krishna, she still glorifies that which only has a slight connection. In other words, this verse is spoken when Radhika is in the Kunj with Krishna, embracing and engaged in loving pastimes. And while she's with him, engaged in loving pastimes, she becomes so lost in separation that she's glorifying the jasmine creeper that is touching a tree, slightly touching something which is very slightly from far away, has a fragrance of similarity to Sri Krishna, like this. And when Krishna sees Radhika speaking in this way, Jalpalila Manalpam, her Jalpalila, he cannot understand. What is she thinking? What is she saying? Nothing that she says has any cram. No one sentence is connected to the next one. I cannot find a flow of sense in her words. Because she's having so many spurtis of so many places, and her voices of herself in these various places coming out. And Krishna is astonished. So then he thinks, what is the happiness she's experiencing now that is beyond me? That was Krishna's third greed, by which he was impelled to appear as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, Gopya kimacha dayam kursalam smavena. Radharani said, what did this bamboo flute do? In a previous life, we knew Krishna Damodaradra Sudam since he was Damodar, since he was a little baby. naughty, stealing butter, and his mother tied him up. We knew Krishna since then. But now this newcomer has come along, this Venu, this flute, and this newcomer is with him all the time. Our parents had us married and we had to move to Yavat and we hardly have a chance to see him. But now this new person came on the scene. And this Venu is always in Krishna's hand. He tucks the Venu in his belt. He tucks the Venu in his pagri, in his turban. He sleeps with the Venu under his pillow at night. And Radhika's becoming jealous. You know, there's a famous, in Sanskrit literature, the greatest poet among the secular people, his name is Magh. Magh, yes. And then you have other poets like Baivari and Kalidas. Kalidas is also considered one of the famous poets. So Kalidas, he wrote one book called Meghdut. Meghdut. And it's about a lover talking to a cloud and asking the cloud to deliver a message. So it's called Meghdut, the cloud messenger. So there, Kalidas, he says, Kamata hi prakriti kripanas chaitana chaitaneshu. The meaning is, if a person feels themselves to be very forlorn and wretched, and they're overwhelmed with calm, they're overwhelmed with amorous desire for their beloved, then it produces one psychological symptom, that they think that those things which are achaitana, unconscious, are conscious, and they start to talk to them. So kamata hi, definitely those who are suffering from calm, intense, unfulfilled desire, prakriti, it's their nature. That kripanas chaitana eshu. They think that the unconscious things are conscious. So Radhika is thinking, oh, look at this flute. She's like my rival. I want to meet with Krishna and taste the nectar of his lips, but this flute is drinking everything and not right in front of me and not leaving one drop for me or any of my sakis. How terrible. And she criticizes. So this is the intensity of Radhika's desire to experience the Shabda Spasa Rupa Rasa, the flavor of the lips of Sri Krishna. Sri Gopendra Sutas Kashli Balat Panchindriyan Yalime. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri, he was completely absorbed in Radha Bhav. He would go for the darshan of Lord Jagannath, and exactly he would find himself in the Radha Swarup and meeting with Krishna in Vrindavan. So generally, when we see the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Puri, he's mainly in Mathura Viraha, right? Radhikara bhava jaiche uddhava darshane sei bhava mata prabhu rahe ratridine. The meaning is that just as when Uddhav came from Mathura, was sent by Krishna from Mathura to Vrindavan, and he had darshan of Srimati Radhika when she was in madness speaking with the bumblebee. So say Bhava Mata Prabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in that same madness of Bhav, Rahi Ratri Dine, day and night. Day and night, Mahaprabhu was relishing that Bhav of Mathura Viraha. But not all the time in Puri, not all the time. Why? Because during the Rath Yatra, he would experience that going to Kurukshetra. And that Radha Krishna were meeting at Kurukshetra, and then he experienced that Krishna came to Vrindavan for the 10 days that Lord Jagannath stays in the Gundicha Mandir. So Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has written a wonderful payar. He said, Brindabone Aila Krishna, Ei Prabhu Gyan, Krishnera Biraha Spurti, Hoila Abasan. The meaning is that, Ei Prabhu Gyan, this was the awareness of Mahaprabhu, Brindavana Oila Krishna. Krishna has come to Vrindavan. And therefore, Krishna Rabiraha Spurti, the visions of Krishna in the mood of separation, Hoili Avasan, they subsided. So you can see that during those 10 days, the katha that Mahaprabhu has with his associates is not Mathura Viraha katha. It's all the nectar of the sweet meeting pastimes in Vrindavan. For example, on the 5th day, on the Panchami day, that is Hera Panchami. And Lakshmi Devi comes in Man with her associates to chastise the servants of Lord Jagannath and give the message to him. He should come back. Come back to Dwarka at once. Don't stay here. Don't stay in Vrindavan. So at that time, Mahaprabhu and his associates, they were discussing so many things about the meetings of Radha and Krishna and the joyful meetings of Radha and Krishna. So, for example, when Radhika, she wants an excuse to meet with Krishna at Giriraj Govardhan. It may be successful, it may not be successful, but she heard the news that Bhaguri Rishi is performing a yagya. He's performing a fire sacrifice at Govinda Kund. And if any gopi will offer some ghee or some yogurt or some milk in the sacrifice of Bhaguri Rishi, then all their desires will become fulfilled. So then, Radhika, she takes a pot of ghee, a big golden pot of ghee, and she's carrying on her head. So her Saki is also carrying pots. Now this is the thing. Radhika does not have to carry the pots. Why? Because she's a princess. She has so many maidservants and others. But the reason Radhika goes carrying the pot on her head, there's a picture of Radhika with a pot on her head. The reason she goes carrying the pot on her head, because she has a strong desire that if I will personally carry the ghee and give to Bhaguri Rishi, then I'll be blessed that all my desires will be fulfilled. That means my meeting with Sri Krishna will be successful. Like this. So actually, Radhika's body is so soft like butter. You know, some gopis, they become tired by making the cow dung patties. Some gopis become tired by churning the butter. But the Radhika's maidservants, they have such ego, they think, but my Saki, she becomes tired only by speaking. Because she's a princess, she's so tender, she's so gentle. But even Vasante vasanti kushuma sukumar yaver. Even though Radhika's body is more tender than a newly blossomed jasmine flower, but she's making the effort to carry the pot of ghee. Why? So that her desires will be fulfilled. And maybe they'll be fulfilled even before she gets there. On the way, one notorious rogue may ambush her. And so she's walking very slowly with the hope that she'll become ambushed. Also, not only that, but she sends some of her Sakis ahead, like 20 minutes, half an hour ahead. Why? Because if they all go together and she gets accosted by Krishna on the way and engages in some banter or some pastimes with him, then the rishis will be sitting there and they'll be late and they'll miss the auspicious time for the yagya. And so Radhika deliberately sends some Sakis ahead. So at least they'll have enough ghee and yogurt and milk to start the yagya if she gets delayed. So even though outwardly she's always saying, oh, Saki, protect me, I don't want to meet with this rogue. But actually, in her mind, she's calculating and making all the calculations to make sure that she'll have a chance to meet him. Okay, you Sakis, go ahead. You don't be late. I'm following behind you. Just now coming. In the hope that Krishna may come and accost her. At that time, when she's walking along, then, oh, lo and behold, by the arrangement of Purnamasi Yoga Maya, someone appeared on the top of Govardhan Hill and was coming down the hill towards Srimati Radhika. At that time, Radhika said, quickly, we should run away. And then Vrindavan Dham is alive, you know. So at once, because when Radhika says, quickly, we should leave, but Vrindavan Dham, Yogamaya really knows Radhika's in a mood. So at once, from the earth, there appeared so many stone chips. So when there are stone chips on the earth, you cannot walk quickly. So then the Sakis are going very, very slowly and going on like this. Because Vrindavan Dham is serving in the Leela. She doesn't want to leave quickly, but she acts as if she does, because Abhahita Bhav. And then when Sri Krishna comes down from the hill and tries to catch Radhika, at that time, Anta smerat ujjala jalakina vyakina pakshmankura kinchit palati tanchila rasika tuk siktha pura kunchati Rudhaya patimadavena madara vyabhugna tarotara radhaya kila kinchita stabakini drishti sriyamva kriyat. Rupa Goswami is describing that exact moment as Krishna is about to catch Shrimati Radhika. Then she manifests what? Kila kinchit bhav. Shamarani knows all about this because Srila Gurudev told her that this painting of Seva Kunj, Radhika is manifesting the Kila Kinchit Bhav. Kila means, it means a bouquet. Just like if there's one flower or one same, Sisi Radharaman Bihari Ki Jai. If there is a bouquet of all the same flowers, it doesn't look so nice. Or if there's one flower. But what if you have a bouquet of many different types of flowers? And some of them are more prominent and some of them are more receding into the background, then it's very beautiful. So this is called Kila Kinchit Bhav. It's the manifestation of 7 emotions, all at the same time, some more prominent and some little bit hidden. Kila Kinchit Bhav. So what are those bhavs? Garva Abhilasa Rudita Smita Suya Bayakudam Sankari Karanam Hasham Uchate Kila Kinchitam. It means garv. Radharani is very proud. Why? Krishna did not go to Chandravali or anyone else. Krishna is coming and only harassing me. Garva Abhilas. She has so many desires to play with Krishna secretly. Garva Abhilas or Rudita. Rudita means tears are coming in and only harassing me. She Garva Rudita means eyes. Smiling at the same time. Asuya, outwardly she shows hostility to Krishna. Bhai, fear. Oh, what if someone will see me on the road and report me to my seniors, the Gurujan in the village? Then there'll be a scandal. So there's also fear. Kruddha means anger. She becomes somewhat in pranayikopa, loving anger towards Krishna. Shankari Karanam Hasham. And all of these moods, 7 moods, they are collected together on the basis of harsh. That means, harsh means jubilation, joy. Just like if you make a sherbet or lemonade, then the basis is water and you have to add some lemon juice, some chini, some sugar, some black pepper, some camphor, some elaichi, different ingredients, and then it becomes very tasteful. So in the same way, basically when Krishna sees Radhika, she is the harsh, overjoyed. But in this basis of joy, manifest 7 bhavs, all at the same time, some more prominent, some less prominent. So Srila Rupa Goswami Pad is saying, oh, may the glance of Radhika at that time bestow upon you great Sri. That means a treasure. Sri, great treasure. Or Sri, great beauty. Why? Because Anta Smerat Ujjvala. Radharani is trying to not to smile. But the smile is starting to come out. So that is one of the bhavs, smita, smiling. But that's one of the flowers in the bouquet which is somewhat hidden. Because she's trying to suppress it. Anta smerat ujjvala jalakana vyakirna pakshmankura. Radhika has very thick black eyelashes. And she's closing up her eyes a little. And the tears are coming. And they're squeezed, just about squeezing through in between the eyelashes, like pearls appearing in between her thick black eyelashes. So jalakana, drops of water, drops of tears, vyakirna, pakshmankura, pakshma ankur. Paksh means eyes and ankur means sprouts. So the eyelashes in Sanskrit are called eye sprouts because they sprout out from your eyes. So there are drops of water just appearing in between the dense black eye sprouts of Shrimati Radhika. Why? Remember, harsh is the basis of everything. Then, kinchit pata lichanchala, the corners of her eyes became red. What does that indicate? Anger, yes. She's angry with Krishna. Rasika tutsika, but there's so much rasa in her glance. And that indicates her abhilas. She's thinking, oh, soon I will get the chance to directly please see Krishna in the Nikunjas or the Kandara, the caves of Giriraj Govardhan. So Rasikatut, her eyes become filled with rasa, and it is due to her abhilas. Purakkunchati, and her eyes are contracted like this. Why? Fear. She's afraid. What will happen? Rudaya patimadavena. That means Madhav is blocking her path. That indicates that he didn't touch her yet. Krishna hasn't touched her yet. He's just in her way. And only Krishna coming in her way is causing such joy and manifesting this bouquet of emotions. Mataravya bungatarotara. And the stars of her eyes are now glancing here and there. That shows her hostility. Oh, what is he doing? What trouble is he causing? And also, she's looking here and there at her sakis with great pride. So, Radhaya kila kinchita stabakini. This bunch of flowers, of the bhavs of Radhika, some prominent, some more hidden. Then, that Sriyamba Kriyat, may you be blessed by her glance at this time. You know this bhav, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has said, E bhava yukta deke radhasya nayan sangama hoite sukhapai kotigun. If Krishna embraces Radhika in a beautiful kunj, he gets so much happiness. But if he only from a short distance sees the face and eyes of Radhika light up with Kila Kinchit Bhav, only seeing this, Krishna gets 10 million times more happiness. Seeing the face of Radhika light up with this Bhav. A Bhav, this Bhav, Yukta Deke Radhasya Nayan, her face and her eyes, Sangama Hiti Sukh, more than the happiness of direct union with Radhika. Sangama Hite Pai Sukh Pai Koti Gun. Krishna gets 10 million times more happiness. So how beautiful is this meeting of Radha and Krishna. And when Mahaprabhu was in Puri, at the time of when Jagannath was staying in Gundicha, the spurtis of the Viraha, Mathura Viraha separation, they went down, and all the spurtis of the sweet loving and pastimes of laughter and comedy in Vrindavan, they were manifested in the heart of Mahaprabhu, and you can see that in his conversations with Swarup Damodar at that time, especially at Hera Panchami. So in this way, Mahaprabhu, by his own life example, being absorbed, taking shelter of Guru, being absorbed in Harinam, staying in the company of Brajrasik Vaishnavas and always absorbed in the Katha of Radha Krishna, taking darshan of the deity and dancing in kirtan, he's showing us exactly what is the path of bhakti. Once when Mahaprabhu fainted, his associates came and they were fanning him and loudly chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And Mahaprabhu opened his beautiful lotus eyes which reach around almost to his ears. And he was in half external consciousness. And he began to speak his experience. Oh, where am I? How did you bring me here? I was in Vrindavan. I saw Radha and Krishna. They were playing together and they entered into a kunj. At that time, one Saki told me, you, go and pick some flowers for Radha Krishna's service. And then Mahaprabhu experienced that he was going and picking flowers. Why? Because Mahaprabhu, at that time, he was not in Radha Bhav. He was relishing Manjari Bhav. And so in those pastimes, through those pastimes and the verses of those pastimes, Mahaprabhu is showing us exactly, because actually Though, on the one hand, we cannot attain Radhabhav. That is what he was experiencing. We cannot attain that pastimes. Mahaprabhu is showing us exactly, because actually, though, on the one hand, we cannot attain Radhabhav. That is what he was experiencing. We cannot attain that. Yuteshwaritvam api samyag aruchayitva dasabritabdim anusasyo ajasyamas asyaha. He said, Rupa Manjari and the other maidservants of Radhika, like I am seeing here, very beautiful paintings of Shamarani, of the maidservants of Radhika. They are so beautiful. How can we describe their beauty? It's not possible. So we just try to describe a small part of their beauty, and then by Kaimutyanai, the logic of Kim Uta. If this, then what about that? It's called Kaimutyanai. Then a person may have some spurti while they're hearing. He's saying that only one line on the toe of Rupa Manjari and the other maidservants is more dazzling than a flash of lightning. Vaidagja eva kila motirbitastatapi. Are they artistic? Do they know how to sing, how to dance, how to play musical instruments, how to cook, how to make garlands, how to decorate, how to paint the face and paint the body of Srimati Radhika, how to speak in riddles and poetry? Do they know these things? Don't think that they know these things, but rather Vaidagda eva kila murtibrita. They are the embodiments of Vaidagdata. They are all the arts condensed, personified. This is the nature of the Manjaris. Yuteshwaritvam. Yuteshwaritvam. That means they are qualified to be Yuteshwaris. Every Manjari can be a Yuteshwari. They are qualified to have their own group of Sakhis leading the group. Like Chandravi leads a group, or Shamala leads a group, or Pali leads a group. They're qualified for that. But seeing that Krishna